Today, I'm going to show you how to reimagine these 2025 Target Bullseye Playground Christmas mini potion bottles. The things we'll need for our reimagined Target mini potion bottles are the Target potion bottles. Now, there were only 5 Target mini potion bottles this year: Yule Magic, Winter Wonderland, Christmas Lights, Candy Canes, and Frozen Snowballs. But we're actually going to add one more on, and then I also have the labels from past years that kind of match up with these as well. To reimagine these bottles, we're going to need several things. We're going to need assorted hot glue guns and sealing wax. We're going to need a whole bunch of different cordings. We're going to need some wax seal stamps. We're going to use some mica powder and some little confetti, as well as some little fake frogs, rubbing alcohol. We're going to use some tissue paper, and then we're going to need some tools to actually fish the items out, as well as help to reposition things. And finally, we will need our labels printed on sticker paper, and the link for these is in the description down below. Let's get started. Would you like a chance to win a monthly potion bottle from me? Then consider supporting me over on Patreon. All of my patrons have a chance to win a monthly potion bottle. Patreon not your thing? No worries. You can become a member here on YouTube, where you get exclusive icons and emojis to use in the comment section. Link in the description down below. The first bottle we're going to transform is candy canes. So we have actually done candy canes before, and that was our magic candy canes bottle, and I'll put a link to the video of that transformation up above, and then that way you can see it. But I did include this label in this label packet in case you want to just keep it candy canes. But we are going to make ours peppermint toads. So we are going to take some of these little mini toads, and they're the same one I used in our reimagined Halloween Town packet. I picked these up at Michael's. We are going to turn these into peppermint toads, which are a chocolate treat you can find at Honeyduke's. So we are going to paint these with our brown acrylic paint, and that way we will turn them into chocolate peppermint toads. So I'm going to clear our bottle out and get our toads prepped. All right, now that we have our little brown chocolate peppermint toads, we can go ahead and load them into our bottle. Now, I think I want to add a little base in here. So I'm going to crumple up some of the same tissue paper that we made our Christmas crackers out of. And we're going to put that here in the bottom. And I might actually use a couple sheets just to help prop them up a little bit. So I actually think I'm going to add my little toads and position them, and then I may add more tissue around them just to make it seem a little more full than it actually is. Plus, it'll kind of keep the little frogs in place as well. All right, we've got our little peppermint toads in there then. And now we can place our label, which I'm going to put right here. All right, so I'm going to add a brown cording detail around the neck of our bottle here. All right, now that I've got my cording on, we're going to add some of this pearlized white sealing wax on the top. And then we're going to plop our little frog in there, which I think will be super cute. And there we have our little chocolate peppermint toads. straight from Honeydukes. Super cute. For the next one, we're going to take frozen snowballs, and it's going to be Bewitched frozen snowballs. So I tried to give this a Weasley Wizard Wheezes vibe, much like I did a lot of these this time. And we have this really bright graphic, which I feel like is very similar to the graphics that are used in the Weasley Wizard Wheezes joke shop. And up here it says never melts. It's kind of hard to see because it's so tiny, but we're just going to remove this label, leave the snowballs because I think they're super cute. We're going to add a little cording, and then we're going to just add some wax drips. And I'm also going to add a wax seal stamp of a snowflake. Now, snowballs is another one we've already done before in the past. So this is the label we had done before. It is no melt snowballs, and we have the little Hogwarts castle here in the background, which is super cute. But I wanted to give you another option. So if you want to make it more Weasley Wizard Wheezes vibes, where it's really bright and colorful, I give you this one. And if you want it to be more simple and traditional, we have this one. And again, I'm going to include this in the same packet, but it's also in my previous reimagined little mini Target potion bottle videos as well. And there we have our Bewitched frozen snowballs. For this next one, we're going to transform Winter Wonderland into Weather in a Bottle. So again, this is another Weasley Wizard Wheezes product. And I felt like this would be super cute to do in this one. And we're going to make this one a color shift. So it's basically going to go from a light blue, green, tealy color clear. And when we shake it, it's going to be an iridescent tealy icy color. So we're going to go ahead and get this one started. So as you can see right now, this has a little tree. Now I do think I want to leave a little bit of the fake snow in there, and when we shake it up, it'll just kind of add another dimension to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the label off of this, and then we will start to transform it. All right, I got the label off, and we're going to pull the tree out of here. And I'm definitely going to save the tree because we can always reuse it. I actually made cute little bottles that were antique bottles that had different little bottle brush trees on the top. So you could definitely reuse this for that. I'll put a link up above to that video. But like I said, we're going to leave the snow in here. I might actually get rid of just a little bit of this snow so it's not quite as much as what's in here right now. All right, I feel like that is a good amount. So for this one, we're going to end up changing the cork to a rubber cork, and I'm going to go ahead and use this white one. But you're going to notice that when we stick this in, the cork sticks down quite a bit. So I'm actually going to cut this cork shorter. And to do that, you just need to take your scissors and go where you want to cut it. And just start to squeeze and rotate the cork at the same time. And you just keep working at it. And eventually you will cut through the rubber. You could also use an X-Acto knife, but I feel like the scissors is a whole lot safer bet. Since the rubber does kind of move and shift, you don't want the X-Acto knife to slip and accidentally cut you. Now, I always like to save these little nubbins because you never know. You might have a little bottle that would be the perfect little stopper for. But now this is cut down, and it's a much more appropriate sized cork for this bottle. So I'm going to start by adding my mica So we're going to add just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of this blue-green mica powder. And when I say a tiny bit, I mean a tiny bit. So I'm just putting a little bit in here. You can always add more. And then I'm going to add our iridescent green. And still not a crazy amount, but more definitely than we did of the blue-green color. And again, we can always add more to this as well. And now we can add our alcohol. And we're going to cork this up. And I'm going to give it a good shake to see if we need any more mica powder in there. I do actually think I want to add just a tiny, tiny bit more of the blue-green. But again, it's still a nice subtle swirl. All right, let me re-dry this off. And then I am going to UV glue this cork in place. But we do get our nice swirl. So I'm going to go ahead and UV glue this, and then we'll come back to finish embellishing it. Right, we are all UV sealed and leak proof with our rubber cork. So we're going to go ahead and do some more embellishing. I'm going to add some cording. And I'm going to clean up my cording a little bit, because the jute twine, you get the little wispies, and I'm going to do that with my flame. All right, and now that I have my cording on here, we're going to add some wax strips to the top, and I decided to go with a tealy color. Alright, so we've got our little snowflake detail here. And now we can add our label. And then we have our weather in a bottle. All right, for the next one, it's Christmas lights, and we're going to keep it Christmas lights. Now, we have done a Christmas lights in the past, and that was Christmas Lumos. And we changed the little light bulbs to little plastic light bulbs we could find at a craft store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And I'll put a link to that one above. And again, I have this label, so if you'd prefer, you could definitely change it to this one. But I decided to kind of go with a vintage vibe that kind of goes with the colors and theme of some of the other ones we have this year. So I decided to do this Christmas lights label for this one. So I'm going to get rid of this label, and we will come back and finish embellishing this one. All right, and we are going to wrap the neck of our bottle for this one with a ivory colored jute twine. And now we can add our label. And there we have our slightly modified Christmas lights. For the next one, we're going to transform Yule Magic, which is really cute, into Christmas crackers. So Christmas crackers are really popular in the wizarding world, and it's really popular anywhere in the UK or anything like that at Christmas time. But the ones in the wizarding world have slightly different prizes. So normally a Christmas cracker contains a crown, a joke, and maybe some little gift. But in the wizarding world, they have things like fancy bonnets, live bats. It has wizard's chests, live mice, and all kinds of different things. So we're going to make ours like that. And I did create the little label to kind of have a Weasley Wizard Wheezes vibe to it. But we're going to make little baby Christmas crackers, and I'm still going to leave some of this stuff. We're just going to get rid of the little paper squigglies at the bottom. So this will look like it's some of the things that maybe came out of the Christmas cracker. So let me take the label off, and we're going to start to pull out the paper shreds. All right, so I got my label off here, and I'm now going to use my weeding tool again to try to pull out the paper shreds. Now, I'm going to do it over this beaker, so if I lose any of the little pieces, I can put them right back in. It may actually be easier to just dump the little pieces. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the paper shreds. Now, I honestly don't think the paper shreds in this particular case would have been bad for the Christmas crackers, but I would like to do it without. Right, so now that we have all those gone, I'm going to go ahead and add these back into our jar. I may not put the entire amount in there, but we're going to put a decent chunk. Okay, so yeah, I feel like that's probably more than we actually need in there. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and dump off about half. Okay, I think that'll be good, and if we decide to add more, we have it ready. So we're going to make some little Christmas crackers, and I'm going to use this hot glue stick as just a base to roll the Christmas crackers with, and we are going to use tissue paper. So I'm going to cut this into little, probably like a 3/4 inch piece. All right, we're going to take our little piece of hot glue here, and I'm going to take a piece of tape, and I'm just going to attach the tissue to my little hot glue piece here. And then we're just going to roll it up. Okay, and I probably can cut this down. All right, and then I'm going to take my cording, and I've already pre-cut some pieces here. So let me re-roll this back up. And then we're going to tie the other side, and then we'll trim everything down. All right, perfect. Now we can cut this down. So I'm just going to trim the ends. And then I'm going to trim my little strings. And we have our little Christmas cracker that we can then place in our jar. And I think I'm going to make one more. All right, so now that we have our red one done, I'm going to pop that in here as well. Super cute. So just kind of adds to the little Christmas cracker vibe. And I do think I'm going to add just a tiny bit more of the sprinkles, not much. Okay. All right, perfect. We're going to cork this up. And we're going to add the same cording we just used to tie our Christmas crackers. And now we can add our label. And there we have our Christmas crackers. All right, so this is a bonus bottle, and we are going to make Glacial snowflakes. This is actually a candy found in the wizarding world as well. It melts in your mouth, so I thought we would go ahead and make this Glacial snowflake one. And this is actually polyester glitter, but it looks like confetti or sprinkles that you would put on cupcakes or anything like that. So I thought this would be cute for it to be candy. You could do any little snowflakes in here though, and I feel like it would be just fine. I picked these up at Michael's. I think that's good. And we're going to cap that up. And our label has the little gold detail on here, so we're going to use a gold cording on this. And this is just some embroidery floss. All right, we've got our little gold detailing there, and then we can put our label on. And there we have our Glacial Snowflakes candy. And there you have it, our reimagined Christmas of 2025 Target Bullseye Playground mini potion bottles. These will be a great addition to our potion and prop collection making along the way. So if you guys like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we will catch you guys later. Thanks so much.